Ever since 2020, the cosplay community hasn't been the same, and not for the reasons you probably think of. It wasn't because of lockdown, it wasn't due to the increased screen time on TikTok and co. And it certainly wasn't because streaming services brought anime to the West. That happened ages ago. You saw the thumbnail, you've read the title. So, let's talk about Genshin, its effects on the cosplay community, how it took over conventions, and why it continues to stay relevant. Imagine the scene. You're attending your local convention. Heading to the main hall, you come across a popular photoshoot location. In front of a giant backdrop are multiple dozens of the all too familiar gacha characters. Despite your goal not to spend a fortune, you decide to take a stroll around the artist alley anyway. Hundreds of small booths. But yet, you see the same items over and over. Chibi Genshin keychains, the visions of the various regions and elements, prints and pins as far as the eye can see. What you can't find is what you truly came for. That sweet 2010s nostalgia. The legacy fandoms. How could they vanish? What happened? And how did Genshin and its cosplays take over? Yet again, this mystery leads us into the past. Genshin boomed right after it launched globally in September of 2020. The advertising was everywhere. Everywhere where you also were. You couldn't be online without coming across a hint of the Genshin rabbit hole. Click on a YouTube video, bam, a Genshin ad. Watching your favorite creator, either they're sponsored by Hoyo or they're playing the damn game. I swear it reached Raid Shadow Legends frequency. Anyway, where there's content, there will be a fandom. Where there's a fandom, there will be cosplayers. And where there's any kind of enjoyment, there will be capitalism. Genshin designs are infamous for their gravity-defying fashion and unpracticality. If cosplay content creators weren't already sponsored by Genshin in the first place, they will surely view the amount of detailing as a challenge. This is no franchise where you can get the wig and rummage through your closet to imitate the character. Nobody just has Beto's iconic red garment at home, or anything that comes close. So at this point you either make it, and if you don't have the skills, you buy it. The ruthless designs create a need for industrial production. In other words, people demand pre-made costumes. And we all know the laws of supply and demand. It just seems like the demand never stopped. Don't forget, each new sale equates to another post. It didn't take long until social media was flooded with Genshin cosplays. Some creators even dedicating their entire account to Genshin content only. Just to put into perspective how vital cosplay is to the fandom, I calculated the ratio of the amount of posts with the Genshin Impact hashtag to the ones tagged with Genshin Impact cosplay. This might look insignificant, but if we repeat the process with the big three and compare Genshin results to theirs, we can make out a difference. Not only the internet is flooded, conventions are drowning in merchandise and cosplayers. Want proof? Just look up Artist Alley catalog on Twitter and count how many booths sell some sort of Genshin merchandise. Don't worry, I'm not expecting you to do the work. I did it for you. Out of 50 booths, a whopping 22 sell Genshin merch. Doesn't sound much. That's 44%! Almost half of them. Numbers are one thing, experiencing is the other. Just look through any convention vlog footage and you won't be able to escape it. Even if we looked at mine, we would see multiple instances. And that considering the size of it. It's gotten to a point where artists purposefully don't sell Genshin to help with the oversaturation, even if that means missing out and reducing financial profit. That's what the situation looks like in 2025. Genshin is not at its peak anymore. Many cosplayers even admit not to play the game despite cosplaying newer characters. That couldn't be me. I need my daily hour of Genshin. My routine would be totally disturbed without it. I know it's bad, but it's better than being a League player? I seem to be the exception here. According to Google Trends, the searches for Genshin Impact have declined while Genshin Impact cosplay searches continue to stay relevant? But why won't it die down? Well, it's a combination of all of the topics we talked about and more. Genshin being known by any demographic from all those sponsorships. The designs being challenging, even for advanced cosplayers. That in turn enabling DokiDoki and co to sell to those who aren't professionals. And cosplay being such a big part of the fandom's culture. This creates the health cycle that is Genshin's immortality. I know I sound crazy, and that's not going to change. Step 1. being infected. It's 2020. The victim gets lured into safety by unrelated and innocent thumbnails. The YouTuber infected themselves introduces the virus. Some people immune to the threat just ignore the ad and go about their day as usual. Others begin to spiral into the Genshin rabbit hole. A game that looks too good to be true. And remember the time, there's no real criticism yet. It just seems perfect. This is where the first symptoms begin to get triggered. They check it out and are drawn in by the gorgeous scenery. I can't blame them. And stumble upon the detailed designs. Congratulations, you're in the fandom now. Step 2. The symptoms start to unfold. Here, they're exposed to fan work, including cosplayers. Perhaps those sponsored by Hoyo? Just like the game, their costumes are dazzling. If the infected individual is already a cosplayer, there's almost no hope. A cosplayer's brain is simple. We see a character, we like the character, we either want to be with that character or become the character. And for cosplayers, it's typically option 2. But look at that! How can your average Joe establish something even remotely close to that? The answer? They can't. Well, not unless they dedicate time and brain power to become the new Sarah Spaceman. So they either take the loss or they take out their wallet. Step 3. The parasite. DokiDoki and Co. naturally see Genshin's potential. It's a giant franchise that didn't seem to stop growing at the time. But with so many characters to choose from, which should they produce? You either throw stuff at the wall until something sticks. That's what they did by batch releasing the first 4 characters. Keeching, Mona, Diluc, and surprisingly Chi-Chi? Doesn't the fandom hate her? Or you let the community decide via polls. Usually, characters of the same media are put against each other. But occasionally, DokiDoki and Co. will test the popularity of franchises by pitting Genshin against other fandoms. Inevitably, Genshin will win, leading to more and more characters being adopted into a costume. However, it's that demand that makes producers neglect other media. Well, duh, if people only buy Genshin stuff, companies are only gonna sell it. Cosplayers are free to choose to cosplay from any fandom. But do we really have a choice? Step 4. Diagnoses. In this stage, subjects have left the fandom. The repetitive nature of the game, the controversies surrounding it, and the drama within the fandom has taken its toll. While they have fallen out of love with Genshin, they haven't fallen out of love with cosplay. So back to the website where it all started. And what's the first thing you see? 2 ads for new Genshin arrivals. Scroll down and you're hit with 4 characters from hoyoverse. Sure, you can choose other cosplays, but what other fandom gets promoted this aggressively? The patient seems to be compelled by gacha games. Let's examine how far that disdain goes. A con is coming up. Patient X plans on attending and matching cosplays together with a larger group. The members are part of various fandoms, so agreeing on a common fandom is quite a hassle. Here they are, a cosplay veteran. Hansus each cosplay themselves, looking forward to partake in the craftsmanship cosplay contest. The prop maker, bored doing another generic sword. They want a challenge. The total beginner, they wouldn't survive without tutorials. Besties with broke buddy, who's dependent on recognizability that can be achieved through a wig alone. One of the members has a large social media following, while another wants to grow their smaller account. Both need a fandom that's not too niche in order to reach the largest audience possible. Something everyone knows, something everyone recognizes, something that's just appealing to look at. And none of these members were under a rock in 2020. Some still own old Genshin costumes, others buy accessible newer ones. Our patient now needs to choose between being the odd one out or cosplaying from a game they themselves don't play anymore. While the game might not appeal to each of these 6 archetypes, the cosplays sure do. While Genshin isn't a legacy game itself, their merchandise fits that category. category. And while it's great that so many people are united through one community, variety goes missing. On one hand are both accessible and challenging cosplays. On the other are mass amounts of articles. Recognizability versus repetition. Most shows have one main character, high priority characters, side characters, and background characters. Genshin has playable characters and NPCs, with the attention divided equally among the 99 characters released at the moment. Nobody will get bored by a Genshin group, but they might, seeing the monotone uniforms of Class 1A next to each other. Genshin changed the community, opened new doors, brought us icons, thus won't disappear past its prime. You don't actually need to play the game. You don't actually have to know the character. You don't have to search long to find it. Well, Genshin doesn't have a skip button. Cosplaying from it sure has. Sorta fits into our short-form content dopamine-chasing society. I got to know cosplaying as a labor of love, but can it be love when all you know is what the character looks like? The new era of cosplay, superficiality.